Hey, greetings, fellow nerds. I'm a nerd fighting fat, and this is my weekly fat fighting update. My name is Mark, and I live just south of Salt Lake in Utah, and I've always been a bigger guy, but I'm trying to follow a template to try and change that. So the things I'm trying to do is I'm fasting. I do 2 36-hour fasts a week, so kind of a modified alternate day fasting. I'm trying to be more active. I swim. I have a SwimSpa that I swim in several times a week. I walk. I'll play Supernatural on my Oculus. Whatever I can to be more active. I'm watching my sugar, especially high fructose corn syrup, and then I'm trying to choose lower carb choices. And this is my update of my 44th and 45th and 46th and 47th weeks of being on Mounjaro to control blood sugars as well as help with weight loss, and I'm currently on the 10 milligram pen. So guys, I gotta say, apologize if anyone's missed my update the last few weeks, and my life has been just absolutely crazy. I actually started filming updates a couple times, and then I never had a chance to get them finished and posted. And so what's been going on? I've had loads of fun with work. We had our annual data science conference. I'm on a new generative AI project. I've been doing a bunch of coding. We've been camping. I've had all kinds of stuff to do with the garden. I had a disaster where I ordered some raspberry plants that came in the middle of summer, and I was trying to rescue them, and they're not going to make it. One of my hydroponic gardens, the pump died, so I had to scramble to kind of pick which ones I wanted to keep and deal with that. Had a wasp infestation, and wasps don't make my wife very happy. And then we had the summer crops I was trying to get all in. They came and dug up my yard to install a water meter thing on the irrigation system. My wife has been wrapping up her residency. I got another car, more on that in a second. I scraped my legs up pretty bad, so I've been doing some wound care with that, so more on that in a second. Did some prep for Mexico, went to Mexico, survived a hurricane, more on that in a second. I had my 54th birthday, had loads of family staying with us off and on. I went to the dentist a couple times, church, and let's just say sometimes life just gets the better of you. And to top it all off, my loss is also going so slow right now. It was kind of depressing, honestly. So I didn't eat the best. It's kind of like one of those downward spirals. I'm just frankly being honest here, and I need to titrate up. I haven't had a chance to get to the doctor yet. And my life is still going to be crazy for the next few weeks. The middle of next week, we're going to DC for 9 days. And then in August, I got to go probably to Boise for work, and maybe India as well at the end of the month. So I really got to push, guys, and clean things up as much as possible. So, if I look back on things, my biggest issues right now is my sleep has been terrible. So I've been just dragging and tired, and I got this Oura ring to help to, you like the tan line from my watch. Anyway, I got this Oura ring to help track my sleep, and it pretty much tells me that my sleeping patterns are not good. I've been crashing on the couch a few times. I need to make myself have a consistent bedtime and follow that, at least on the weekdays. On the eating side, like I said, it's like I had Mexico and my birthday, and with camping, I haven't really followed the best diet. Everybody wants you to try things, and there's all kinds of things that you want to try because, like you're in a different country or you're traveling, so it's just kind of fun to do. So anyway, I need to get a lot better about tracking it again so that I can really kind of see where my problems are and plan better. That's the thing, is like if you wait till the last second and you don't have anything to on hand that you need to to do what you need to do. Like, I've got some vegetables again going now, but like I need to have protein on hand to go with it, or else it's not going to be very filling and it's not going to cover what I need. So anywho, then the other problem I have is I have not been very consistent about taking my meds. And like, I didn't take a Mounjaro shot, honestly, when I went to Cancun. You know, how do you carry that with you? And I didn't want to do two together or too late. So it's like I missed a week there, and I just need to do better about those kinds of things. So, and the supplements as well. So I'm making a plan to be better about that. So just in case you guys are curious, what meds and supplements am I using? So for diabetes, of course, I use Mounjaro, and that helps control my blood sugars. It helps you lose weight. But you know, it's prescribed to me for diabetes. I also have modafinil, which is it gives you a lot of energy. It's more of it doesn't necessarily give you energy, but it turns off you thinking that you're tired, and it helps you so you're not dragging as much. And I have sleep apnea, so that's kind of prescribed for me for that. I have tamsulosin, which is it's an old man issues thing. Helps keep your, anyway, we don't need to go to that one. And then I also have some testosterone gel, which again, that's another old man issue. And also a lot of larger guys with a lot of belly fat kind of have issues with testosterone, and that's what we need to build muscle and keep energy going and those kinds of things. And then I do have one more prescription that's just for CGMs, you know, continuous glucose monitors. So again, I have that because I have diabetes, but that's nothing you take. That's just to help you to monitor things. Supplement wise, I've got vitamin D3 and K2. So that's one thing I really think is kind of important to help your immune system and to help with weight loss as well. I'm also using, put them all mostly out here, CoQ10. And this is a random brand. I don't know if I'd recommend or not recommend this one, but just this is CoQ10 is like, it helps you convert your food to energy. So there's some studies that show it helps with weight loss. I use the Align Duobiotic that I've shown you before. I use these creatine chews that I've shown you before. I really like this particular brand because I think they're switching to allulose in their stuff, but like it doesn't get all stuck together like a few of the others that I've tried, which is kind of nice. Fish oil is for omega-3 fatty acids. It helps to reduce the swelling, boost your metabolism. This is just some random brand on this one too. I don't know if it's any better than another. The one thing that you do want to do is make sure which particular types of the oil. I need to get my reading glasses out. Again, old man issues. So you want to look, and there's two types of oil, and my lighting is really bad in here. EPA and DHA. So you want to make sure that you get the right one, because one of them doesn't help as much as the other. I forget off the top of my head what that is. I'll put a little thing here on the bottom of the video which one you want to make sure of. This has them both, but I believe one of them is better than the other. You just want to make sure that you have what you need for the right one. And then I'm using this this kind of a different one, Verso Clean Bing. This is kind of like a longevity thing, and it also helps with some inflammation. So it's like the biohacker, kind of seeing some of these guys like that one. I'm using the there's a lot of them, huh? Unify Multimetabolic 5. So this one's from the Randy Jackson stuff, and it just has a bunch of stuff in here that's supposed to help drive your metabolism. I'm also using this MCT Wellness. This is Dr. Gundry. So this one is supposed to basically help you control your blood sugar and then also help with weight loss. And MCT oil definitely is a good way to, like, I can watch my glucose or my ketosis, right? If I use MCT oil, it puts me into ketosis faster. So that's some pretty good stuff. And I talked about that in another thing. And then of course on my fasting days, I'll drink, you know, some Element, and the packets typically is what I mostly use, but I like to do those, especially on the days that I fast, just to make sure I have those electrolytes. So that's a lot of a lot of pills, but I got to try and be diligent and take those. So I'm not going to bother to do the numbers section today. Let's just say I got down as low as 403, but then I went to Mexico, and so that was a pound or two less than where I was. And I went to Mexico, and now I am back up to 411. So for the first half of the year, I've lost 25.4 pounds. So not as good a progress as I wanted. Frustrating, but at the same time, I'm still down 25 pounds. So that 400 number is giving me absolute grief, but we'll get there. So you gotta keep pushing. All right, so for this week's fat fighting tool, it's a book this time. So this is How Not to Get Sick by Dr. Bickman. He is a metabolic professor at BYU, and I've been following him, and I really have felt like I've been enlightened on a lot of how the whole metabolic system works and why I've had the problems I've had in my life, and it makes, finally is starting to make sense in this. He talks about in this book things about like prioritizing protein, using movement to help with this. One of the things I notice when I use my glucose monitor is that after I work out, my blood sugars will go down. And if you think about it, it makes sense, right? Your body will take your blood sugars and deliver them to the muscles and so forth for use. But you know, how can you strategize that, right? Like if you eat, you know, like I've been working out and then eating, but like if I eat and then work out, then that'll use up those blood sugars and I'd be in a better state. You know, there's things like that you can kind of strategize some of that stuff. And I haven't finished reading the book, so I don't know how much he goes into that, but it looks kind of like that's the kind of thing he talks about a bunch. He shows a bunch of different resistance exercises you can do. Why do you want to do resistance? And there's a bunch of carb conscious recipes. So you know, it's always good to find ideas for lower carb options and stuff like that. And he started a company called HealthCo that makes a protein drink that is kind of a revolutionary approach as well, because you know, all the protein drinks out there, it's just protein, but your body actually needs certain fatty acids and fats in order to actually utilize the protein fully. So he has put together products to help utilize that. So anyway, I think it's worth a read if you guys want to check this one out. I've enjoyed started going through it, and what I've read so far I've been enjoying. So I just got this really just a couple days ago, so I'm excited to get through the rest of it. So that is this week's tool. So I'm out here picking cherries. This tree is absolutely just loaded with cherries. Everywhere you look. Above me, there's cherries. Look at all of those cherries. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick us some. I ordered a pitter. So I'm getting a bowl down there that I'm picking. I ordered a pitter off of Amazon, and we're gonna try to do some freeze drying of these guys. I've never done that before, so we will see how they turn out. These are Bing variety for the most part, by the way. Well, I've hardly made much of a dent. I was hoping to get some weight off of some of these branches so they could go up, but my bowl is full, and this is a good sized bowl, so that's going to definitely fill up my freeze dryer. So we will, as soon as the pitter gets here, then we will take these and we will get them going. Hey guys, so one of the probably the most tedious part of doing these freeze dried cherries is, you know, if you think about cherries, what's in the middle? You got the pit, you know, so if you eat one, you get this pit left over. If you're going to prepare these or store them, you don't want the pits in there. So what I did is I got this cherry pitter from Amazon, Wardeck City brand. I don't know, looks pretty good, but it works pretty well. So the way you do that is you just take a cherry. So I've taken these cherries and I took all the stems off. You just put it in here, and this little guy, and with the little, where the stem was up, and then you just pop that out, and the pit comes out of the bottom, and then you can just, I just put it on the tray here to get freeze dried. So kind of see that again, just, and sometimes they'll kind of hang on a little bit, so you just have to pull that off and put them in the tray. So I've got, I'm gonna have a full freeze dryer here. So these are the trays that I use, and then these are the lids that Harvest Right sells. So basically what I'll do is I'll just put these in I'm gonna put them in the freezer, and then they should freeze dry faster. When I'm about in the morning, we'll be flying to Mexico, and so I just want to get these in the freezer so that they're good and they won't go bad while I'm gone. And my wife, she did a lot of work on getting most of these done. It's a tedious job. So anyway, so that's where I'm doing with this. And anyway, I'm just going to take these trays, I'm going to put them in the freezer, and then I will show you when I get back and I load them into the freeze dryer and freeze dry them, then I'll show you that. All right guys, so now we're ready to put these into the freeze dryer. So I've had them in the freezer. They're nice and hard. And again, I use these lids. These are from Harvest Right themselves, and they work pretty well to be able to stack things in the freezer. So you can see how those trays are all stacked on each other. Anyway, so we're gonna come over here. So I turned the pump on, I turned the box on. So now we're just gonna go ahead and get this going. So we can see that those are kind of, we're just gonna go with the default settings. And so we've got an extra freeze time of an hour, an extra dry time of 2 hours. I'm gonna bump we don't really need the extra freeze time because they're already frozen. So I'm just gonna change that to half an hour, and I'm gonna give them an extra hour of dry time. And then let's go ahead and do start. So now we'll start up, and it says wait 15 minutes to load the trays. So as soon as it hits that, I'm just gonna load the trays in. I'll show you the unit running, and then we'll show you when we pull them out. Okay, so we're just loading these in. So just basically you take the trays and just slide them in there. It's been the 15 minutes, it cools down the chamber. Then we're gonna lock that, load trays into freeze dryer and close the drain valve. So you got a drain valve over here. You gotta close this so that the vacuum works. So now we're gonna hit continue. And I really don't know how long these will take because I've never done these before. So that's why I put a little bit of extra dry time on there, so hopefully I can catch them when they finish. But anyway, I will show you guys when this is done and we can give them a try. Alright guys, check this out. It says it's complete. So, open drain valve to vent. So, we're just going to open this valve. The one back in here. So we're going to vent this out. Alright. And it says if needed, select more dry time. right, so let's see. Those are pretty good, and they're dry. So anyway, I'm gonna take these and put them in some Mylar bags, and then I'll show you upstairs, and we'll eat a couple, and there we go. All right, guys, so here is the finished product. So I've got had 5 trays of cherries. Each tray is giving me just over a bag, so I got 5 of these that I did, and a few leftovers to snack on. And you know, it's interesting because you guys have eaten cherries before, so, and you've eaten craisins or raisins type before, but this is nothing like. I was expecting this to be like the craisin raisin, only cherry flavored, but it's completely dry and kind of crunchy. So it's pretty good. So anyway, now I have something I can do in the future with my cherry tree, and maybe I'll do a couple batches of this next year. When I came back from Mexico, we're in the middle of a heat wave here in Salt Lake, so we're getting 100-degree days. Yeah, the cherries are pretty much done. There's way more than even the birds could take, which was surprising, but they'll finish them off here in a week or two. But they're past their prime for preserving or eating. So anyway, fun with cherries. Cheers. Okay, so let's talk about Mexico. So, you know, I really hate traveling as a bigger person sometimes, and you know, going to Mexico, we stayed at a resort, pretty nice one called Barcelo. It was it's about 45-minute drive south of Cancun, but it just seemed like everything was just tight enough to make it a little bit uncomfortable. The chairs and the places that you eat they all had arms, and it was just where it was kind of pushing it a little bit to the point of being uncomfortable. The chairs on my balcony, same, you know, just a little bit tight. The chair that they had in our room, you know, nice cushion, like sitting chair, little bit tight. The plane seat on the Delta Economy Plus, you know, just a little bit tight. And I did need the seatbelt extender. Remember, I flew and we got a first class upgrade that my wife found really cheap. So when I flew to Texas, and I did not need one then. It was barely long enough, but like this one was just about maybe a ½ inch to an inch short. And I probably could have forced it if I had to, but I didn't want to be uncomfortable with that. So give me a seatbelt extender. So if you're a bigger person and you haven't flown, you can ask them, and they use them to demonstrate like fastening the seatbelt to people. So they always have them on the plane, but it just is like a piece that goes in the middle, and it can extend the belt a little bit. The leg room in the shuttle ride from Cancun was just a little bit tight. And again, I know I said leg room, but when you have a big butt, it kind of decreases your amount of leg room. And so everything was just a little bit uncomfortable. But at the same time, you know, if I was even just 50 pounds bigger or 100 pounds bigger, or, you know, I've lost nearly 130 something pounds now, so I wouldn't have been able to even do a lot of this stuff. So I'm very, very thankful for the progress I've made. I didn't even see any extra chairs or anything in the place that you ate where you would have even been able to say, hey, I need a chair without arms or anything. Maybe they had one in the back somewhere, I don't know, but I'm sure they would have figured something out. But it's always awkward conversations, and you know, I didn't notice people staring at me as much in disgust as I have in the past, and I've kind of moved to be, now I'm a too big guy, but not a holy crap, that guy is big guy. so that's kind of where it feels like I am when I go out and about. But Another thing that was kind of interesting was before I left to Mexico, I had a couple mishaps doing yard work and ended up with some pretty good scrapes on the fronts of my calves and my legs. And you know, with diabetes, wound care on your legs is something that they get very concerned about. I've had some issues in the past where what happens is you get these cuts and stuff, and because of the diabetes and the inflammation, the blood doesn't circulate right. That's why sometimes you'll see people complain about tingling or things in their extremities. That's how you know the diabetes is still fighting you. And if you get those blood flow issues, it's really hard for your body to heal. So I was I have a couple sores I was trying to heal, and one of the problems I run into when I travel a lot is my legs tend to swell and stuff, and I'm not sure why it's so much different when I travel versus just when I'm at home. But I don't feel like I change a lot differently. But just FYI, what I like to do for those is, if it's really bad, the first thing I would do is, and the first thing I do typically is I'll put on an antibiotic. The one I like to use is I think it's pronounced bacitracin. Anyway, it's an antibiotic ointment. And then I use a silver spray. Silver helps fight bacteria as well. When I would do wound care, they'd use these. I don't typically use these unless I really feel like I'm not making any progress, but these are called Zeroform, and it's just a petroleum dressing that helps keep it there. And so these are 4 inches by 4 inches, but you can cut it down to size. Just use some sterile scissors or something. But then I use these, they're a 3M brand Tegaderm foam adhesive bandages. And so the nice thing with these is they kind of look like very noticeable, and everyone's like, what's wrong with your leg? But like they have, so these are kind of like a rounder one, and it's got like a piece of foam in the middle that it kind of like insulates it from getting hit or hurt, you know. So like sometimes if you got a sore or something, something hits it, it hurts it a lot more, and also kind of slows down the healing. And you put these on and you peel them, and they kind of conform to the shape of your leg or wherever you're doing it. There's different shapes that you can get. Like there's a kind of a rectangle one that's actually a little bit bigger on the area. Here, I can open one of these and just kind of show you guys what they look like. So, you know, this is kind of the thing. So you peel this piece off, and then it's sticky, and you put that on your leg, and then once you put it down, then you can peel these off this way, and it gives it a really good surface there. And the nice thing about these too is they're waterproof, so you can put this on, you can swim, you don't have to worry about it leaking or those kinds of things. And with that foam padding too, you don't have, like, it's easy to put these on, and then you can put a compression sock over it if you want to. Compression socks help, you know, reduce that swelling, keep the blood flowing, kind of thing. So anyways, you know, gardening mishaps. I scraped one on a rock, and then like a couple weeks later, I was trying to cut down some peas off of my trellis, and I kind of stepped up on a chair and I kind of slipped, and next thing I knew, I like got a big scraped all the skin off the front of my other leg. So anyway, so I was dealing with that a little bit, but you know what? And the sun doesn't help with that stuff, but all things considered, we were having a great time, honestly. We got a lot of really great days in, of like just swimming in the ocean and snorkeling, and then swimming in their pools. And I would get frozen lemonades. Probably not the best thing for diabetes. I don't recommend it, but it was so hot, and so they tasted good. So again, that's probably why I'm up quite a bit right now from the trip still. But things got a little dicey. So on Thursday, they sequestered us in our rooms, and we weren't allowed to leave. They were bringing boxed lunches to us, boxed meals for breakfast, for dinner, for lunch. And about 3 a.m. the next morning, it was really hitting hard. I think that's when the eye came in. We weren't too far from where the eye hit. And it was some pretty good winds. So it was a Cat 2. Our daughters were in a different room, so they slept through the whole thing. We kept texting them, "Are you guys okay? Are you guys okay?" And get no response. But yeah, because they were just sleeping through the whole. They slept through the whole thing. But I'm just thankful. God watched over us. My family's safe. We really did have a good several days before that came in. So I'll put some footage on here. You guys can see how crazy it is. And what I feel really bad for is the people coming down the next week who are so looking forward to their vacation, because this place is trashed, and it literally blew all the sand off the beach. No more sand. It literally, like the pools that were so perfectly clear and blue before, were full of palm fronds and coconuts and sand, and they had to turn off all the fountains, and it's just trash. So the people coming that are there like this week right now, I feel bad for them, because that is not a vacation. I don't know, maybe they fixed things up a lot faster than it looked like they could, but yeah. Anyways, I am a hurricane survivor now, so I guess I can put that on my bucket list. Not that I ever actually added that to my bucket list, but anyway, so Mexico, did not eat the best. I tried to eat more protein, less carbs, but then I eat a nice clean meal, and then it's like someone will like, "Here, try this dessert, try this dessert, try this dessert," or the waiter would just bring us a drink. "Here, try this one." And I don't drink alcohol, but they bring us like alcohol-free pina coladas, or I don't even remember half the names, but and it's so hot, I wasn't gonna refuse anything that was cold. hot and muggy. Anyways, so good times. Hey guys, so another thing that happened over the last few weeks is, a long time ago, I put money down the day they announced it on a cybertruck. So my number finally came up. I've been saving a little bit for years, and so I got my cybertruck. So now I'm living the dream, guys. I got a Jeep and a cybertruck. But in case you guys are wondering if you would fit in a cybertruck, there is a ton of room in these things. I mean, this is like a super roomy car. And you can see the steering wheel is like, it's not like a full wheel. And for a big guy, a lot of times the steering wheels would rub on the bottom of your legs. This yoke style, it doesn't do that at all. So it's a lot of fun and kind of crazy, but it's very polarizing. Some people like them, some people hate them. I'm not a guy that really likes a lot of attention, and it seems like everywhere I go, people are like staring at me or waving at me or whatnot. So kind of interesting as far as that aspect goes. So anyways, it's a lot of fun. If you guys have any questions about it as far as like size or anything type stuff goes, let me know. But I mean, tons of room. I mean, like the seatbelt, I could be as fat as I used to be and probably still get in this thing, no problem. I think plenty of headroom. I've got the seat scooted forward actually several inches from where it can go to. I think even Shaq would probably, Shaq might be tall enough that he might have a little bit of an issue, but anyway, plenty of room in this kind of a car if you guys are ever curious about that kind of a thing. But loads of fun to drive, super fast, super cushiony ride, steer by wire. Anyway, this isn't a car blog, but just thought I'd show you guys that If you ever want to go for a ride or a test drive one or something, I don't think any of you would have any problems fitting whatsoever. So there you go. Anyhow, so that's the update for this several weeks. Again, sorry it's taken me so long. Just got so caught up in everything going on. It's been crazy, and so this next week I will be in DC. So I leave on next week on Thursday, and I will be in DC until the following Friday. So I'm probably going to be 2 weeks to the next update. So, but I will try to get that in at least, and let you know how things are going. And again, I just gotta buckle down and really try to clean things up, take my supplements and meds, get good sleep, and make sure I get my exercises in, get my swims in, get my I need to start being better about doing some walks in the evening, just all that kind of stuff. So a lot of fun things. This is, you know, fun times, and I'm blessed. I really am. Just battling my weight. You know, you could be the richest person in the world, and still sometimes it can be these things can be a battle. So I'm not the richest person in the world either, but I do okay. I do okay. Obviously I have a Cybertruck and a Jeep, so hey, I'm living the dream as far as that goes. That's the pinnacle for me. I'm not a McLaren guy. Anyway, I hope everything is going well with you guys. I hope you're still having success and hanging in there. We'll see what we can do to kind of figure this out and get me a doctor's visit, and we'll go from there. So it's gonna probably be 2 weeks before I can get into titrate up though, because again, I'm gone like pretty quick next week. So anyway, take care guys. Cheers.